Hello everyone, and thank you for tuning into my video. So in today's video I am going to be applying a full set on myself. As you can see, most of my tips have already been applied. I am applying this nail tip because this one actually popped off. I believe I used a tip that was way too small, so it ended up popping off and I had to go ahead and take off the tip and reapply another one. So I am using these natural tips. I believe I got them off of Amazon. I will be sure to leave the link in the description if I can find it. So now I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to measure my nails up against each other just to make sure that they're all the same length. All of them are straight, just so I can have minimal filing to do after I apply the acrylic. Video I am using a 8100 grit nail file, and I believe I'm using the more coarse side, so that would be the 80 grit side on this nail file. Okay, I was just flicking it to make sure that it was on properly this time. So now I'm going in with my tip cutter. I'm not sure where this tip cutter is from. I actually got this as a gift from someone. So I'm going in and I'm measuring it up against the middle finger on the other hand. And now I am going to take my straight edge nail clipper. I am going for a coffin shape, so I'm just trimming down the sides just to save me some time during the filing process. So you can see here I am going on one side and shaping it, or I'm sorry, filing it at a 45-degree angle. So I am holding the nail file at a slanted angle, and I'm making sure that I'm doing that evenly on both sides, just so I can make sure that I'm not making one side come in too much, if that makes sense, so that the nail won't be crooked. So after I file that nail into the shape that I desired, I am blending in the smile line with my natural nail. I do this because it makes for easier application, and also if you're using like a transparent type of acrylic, it looks a lot more natural. Okay, so everything looks good here. I'm gonna go ahead and grab my duster and just dust off all that excess dust and move on to the next step. So for my nail prep, I do use a dehydrator. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply that to just the natural nail on all of my fingers. And you don't want to apply this on the skin, because if you have any cuts, it will eventually burn, and you do not want that. And the dehydrator is used to kind of dry out any oils that are left on the nail after you buff them, so that's why I use the dehydrator. Next, I'll be going in with my primer, and this is by Secret, and also doing the same thing as I did with the Dehydrator. I'm just going in on the natural nail of all of my nails and applying that to the natural nail only. Alright, so now that that's done, I'm going to go ahead and get my products ready for my acrylic application. So for my monomer, I use the Secret monomer, and I did purchase this off of Amazon, so I'll be sure to leave the link in the description for this particular monomer. And for this set, I am going to be doing colored acrylic, so I'm not going to be using any gel polishes. I'm just going to be using colored acrylic. So this first color I am using is by Nail by John, and it is a really pretty light blue that has some shimmer in it. So there is the color and the website where I got it from right there in the top left. This colored acrylic, it will be my first time using his brand, and he's sworn by a very easy and smooth application. His acrylic, you're able to work with it, but honestly I think that it's only if you use his monomer. So he has a lot of videos on his page on Instagram where he can sit his monomer down on the nail, he'll get on his phone, he'll start texting, and the monomer has not dried. With this application that I'm doing, it took me a little longer than usual just because I felt like I had to keep picking up smaller beads because it was drying a little bit faster than what I anticipated. So you'll see here that I probably picked up about 4 beads already, and I'm not even fully done with this nail. A quick little tip too when you're applying your acrylic is that you want to make sure that you're wiping your brush off as much as possible after you have laid down your acrylic. If you leave any acrylic in your brush while you're doing your acrylic application, it will be stuck in your brush and your bristles, and it will mess up the application. It'll be lumpy, it'll leave like more streaks, it'll just be, you know, a little bit more difficult to work with. So it's always best that you wipe your brush off as much as possible. As you see when I'm done, in between putting them down, in between wiping, I just kind of just dab it right there on the paper towel. And right there I was just showing you the little arch that I have. So that is the area of the nail that you want to have a nice little curve, not a curve, but like I said, like an arch, where if it's too thin, that's more than likely the area where it will break. So if it's just straight and it doesn't have that little arch, it's more than likely to break. So you want to have a nice little arch or apex, or they call it the stress area. And as you all can see, I'm still applying beads of this acrylic to this nail. Y'all, this was giving me a hard time. I don't know if it was just me or if if it really is true that you have to use his monomer for it to work the correct way, but I just kept applying beads and beads and beads. Like I said, I was having a problem with it drying too fast, so I didn't want to grab a too big bead to where it would just dry up on me and leave a big old lump in the area that I applied it to. Okay, so for this next acrylic color, I am using a acrylic, and it is a glitter acrylic, and I got this from osnapbeautysupply.com, and it is the color Smokin' Blue, so it will be that very first one to the left. And you guys, I was kind of freestyling this set. I didn't know how I wanted to do it. I just know I wanted to use these two colors. So for this index finger, I was going for an ombre look. So I was gonna do the Smokin' Blues glitter acrylic at the tip, and then have the blue color by Nails by John, or Nail by John, coming at the bottom. So going into like a little ombre effect, that's what I was going for this index finger. And as you can see, for the ombre nails, when you're using the acrylic powder, you do want to start off with your first color coming slightly past the middle or past that smile line, and then you want to blend that down, and then you want to grab the other color and place that at the back of the nail closer to the cuticle area and blend that up towards your first color that you set down. It causes for a smoother transition. It won't be such a harsh line in the middle when you kind of drag down that first color a little bit further than halfway, if that makes sense. Another important tip that I found very helpful is when you're placing a product down, you don't want to wipe too hard. You want to kind of feather it down so you're not dragging all of that product up towards the tip of the nail. You want to keep some of that product in place, so I'm just lightly feathering it down so it's not taking away from the product that I set down at the back of the nail. And always, always, always make sure that you're wiping around that cuticle area. You want to remove any acrylic that may have got placed on the skin, because if you do not remove that, it will be hard as heck to file away, and eventually if you don't remove it and you're not able to file it away, it will cause your nail to lift, because water and any other type of moisture can get underneath that nail, and that will cause lifting. So now I'm gonna come back in with the glitter and add some more on top of what I just laid down, just because some of that blue kind of overtook the glitter that I originally applied. So I'm just dragging some of that down to set it on top of the blue so it can look more ombre-y. I know that's not a word. So again, like I said, I was not sure how I was gonna go forward with doing this set. So for my ring finger, I'm gonna do all glitter. So it's just gonna be a full nail of this Smokin' Blues glitter by Oh Snap Beauty Supply. Y'all, so let me tell you something. This will be my very first time recording a video and editing a video, and let me tell you, it was a struggle to keep my hand in sight of the camera. It was so hard for me to be able to determine, okay, am I doing this? Can they see it? Or so there will be a lot of clips on here that I am outside of the camera. I did do my best to try to edit most of it out, so some steps are gonna be missing, but that's only because you couldn't even see what I was doing anyway, so it was very pointless to have it in the video. Like I said, this is my first time doing this, and I will eventually get better, so yeah. So for the middle finger, I am going to do a full nail of the blue color by Nail by John. I keep calling it the blue color. The name of this color is actually called Viagra Blue. It's so funny. He has so many funny names for all his acrylic powders, so I will definitely go check them out. I do plan to buy his monomer just so I can see if it does make a difference with the acrylic application. Like I said in the beginning, I was kind of struggling with this blue color, but I'm thinking it's maybe because I'm not using his monomer. Okay, so here I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with my pinky nails. So you guys are gonna see me pick up a few beads of the glitter and then the blue, and I ended up wiping it off because I didn't like how it came out. I was trying to go for some type of marble effect that I have clearly not been able to master yet, so you will see me put this on and then eventually wipe it off. And I believe I do cut out the video because I'm like, I'm over this, moving on. So I grabbed a smaller brush in hopes of making it a little bit easier for me to try to accomplish this marble effect that I was trying to go for. But like I said, I ended up just cutting the video short, or cutting this little clip out, because I couldn't get it how I envisioned it in my head. Okay, so I am moving on to my right hand, and I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing on this hand that I did on the left hand. So I'm doing that full nail on the thumb of that Viagra Blue by Nailed by John, and this is my less dominant hand that I'm now using. I am right-handed, so it is a little bit of a struggle for me to maneuver with this left hand of mine. Okay, so I know you're probably wondering, well, what happened to the other four fingers? So like I said before, a lot of my clips were done outside of the view of the camera, so I went ahead and edited that part out since I was not in sight of the camera when I was doing the rest of my nails. I'm not sure if that had something to do with me not being left-handed or whatever, but now I am using a fine drill bit, and I'm filing the nails down, smoothing them out, and I am just making sure that I'm getting close to that cuticle area. You do want to make sure that you seal around that cuticle area, again, to prevent any moisture from getting underneath the nail, to prevent lifting. And I am using a fine a fine drill bit. I will also leave the link to my nail drill and my dust collector in the description. I did buy both of these items off of Amazon, so I will go ahead and get those links for you guys and leave them in the description. Okay, I did want to let you guys know that I did cap all of my nails with the glitter with clear acrylic. I did not capture that part, or I did capture it, but I had to cut it out since you couldn't see. Okay, again, I did have to cut that short. Most of it was done outside of the camera view. So now I'm going in with my 8100 nail file, and I'm just redefining that shape when you add acrylic to your nails, it does take away from the shape that you originally perfected before you added the acrylic. So I am just going back in and I'm just sharpening up my sides. I promise you guys I am going to get it together with these angles. This is a lot more difficult than I thought it would be, but I definitely will be making sure that my next video, everything is in the camera and not in front of me. So now that I'm done perfecting my shape, I'm going in with this sanding block and I am just getting rid of any imperfections that my nail drill may have caused, like any lumps, any bumps, any scratches or anything like that. So I'm just going in and I'm buffing all the nails down. And I did purchase this sanding block from my local beauty supply store, but I'm pretty sure they do sell these on Amazon as well. Okay, so I did do that for all of my nails, but of course it was out of the camera. So I'm just putting some acetone to the side because I am going to be using that to clean up around my cuticle area once I apply my top coat. And there is my cleanup brush. So I am going to be adding some bling, and to add my bling I do use the Secret Gel Resin, which acts as a glue. And I will be using that to apply my rhinestones. Okay, so you couldn't see it, but I did apply the gel resin around the cuticle area of this middle finger, and I'm just applying the rhinestones around the cuticle area. So I am using my wax pencil and I'm just picking up the rhinestone and placing them right next to each other where I applied the glue. Okay, so since you guys didn't originally see me add the glue, here it is that I'm adding a little bit more so I can add my last few rhinestones. And the brush is just like a regular nail polish brush. You just swipe it where you want the glue to go. So after I apply my rhinestones, I am going in with this Mia Secret Gel Resin Activator, and it is a spray that you use to spray on top of the gel resin so you can go ahead and freeze that into place. Okay, so I'm doing the same thing on the other hand with my gel resin. I am swiping around the cuticle area of my middle finger, and I'm gonna go ahead and use my wax pencil to apply my rhinestones. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and apply my gel top coat, and I do use the Gel Elixir top coat, and it is a little bit thinner than other top coats that I've seen being used, so that's the reason why I have my acetone over there to the side, so I can go ahead and clean up any excess polish that decides to slide over to the cuticle area. I'm so sorry, but I am so infatuated by the way the glitter just comes to life once you put that top coat on there. This glitter is so pretty. The video doesn't do it justice. It is so bomb. Okay, so now I'm just taking my cleanup brush. Like I said, this gel polish is pretty thin. I'm just going around the cuticle area just to make sure that I'm wiping up that excess gel. If you guys have any suggestions on a different type of gel that won't give me these problems, please feel free to leave the comments for what gel polish you prefer to use. I just went into my local local nail supply store and asked them what the shiniest top coat was, and this is what they gave me. So here I'm just wiping off the sides just to make sure that once I place it under the UV light, I don't have anything that's spilling over the sides to lose the shape of the nail. And you want to cure that for 60 seconds. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing for the other hand. Again, I am applying my gel top coat, which is by Gel Elixir. I did purchase this from my local nail supply store, but I am open for any suggestions on a different type of gel top coat because this one is a little bit thinner in consistency, which causes me to have to go back in and clean up around my cuticle area. So please feel free to leave comments on what gel polishes you guys prefer. So with my cleaner brush, I do just dip it into the acetone and then damp it on the paper towel just so it's not dripping wet. You don't want to flood your cuticle area. You just want it to be a little damp so you can get the excess polish or top coat in my case. Okay, so I'm just wiping off the sides, and you want to cure that for 60 seconds. So here is the finished look. I am totally in love with these. That glitter is so bomb, you guys. Like I said, this video does not do it any justice. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I do apologize again for all of the edits and cuts that I had to make because I suck at recording. But I hope you guys like the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.